来自蓝角的。 胡建国，杀无私，掌声欢迎他。Red corner， 山居。首先，请出客队。这场比赛，就如同猛虎出笼一般。corner 刘伟，中量级到重量级的比赛了。Second down。打分是这样：49对46、48对47、48对47，表现已经是非常完美了啊。Water head, not holding, not holding, not holding. Stop! Red corner, 王志宝的运动员，再回到拳台的中央，战胜阿尔及利亚队。The winner is.
Vitamina Ringo, Zespol, Caciques de Venezuela! Team this evening, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Cabrava representan Caciques de Venezuela, Africa, Hussars, Poland, Great! The blue corner, Victor Von
The Mexico Guerreros went into their final group match knowing that were they to qualify for the knockout stages, they needed to win against the British Lionhearts and hope that the Cuba Domodores beat the Ukraine Ottomans. The Domodores upheld their end of the bargain with a thumping 5-0 win, so then it was just left to the Guerreros to play their part against a relaxed and confident-looking Lionhearts team who very much enjoyed the pre-match entertainment. Joe Joyce was first into the ring for the Lionhearts at super heavyweight against Edgar Ramirez. Joyce 5-1 in the tournament up to this point. Going into this contest, Ramirez 2-2, but Ramirez certainly made a fight of it. He never stopped coming forward, but it was Joyce who managed to pick the cleaner punches. Work to the body. Ramirez at times looked like he would slow, but just always threw back and was always a threat in there. Hooks particularly, left and right, got through at times, although Joyce defensively was sound. And it was Joyce who got the win by unanimous decision, 48-47 on all three cards. At flyweight, Kelvin De La Nieve was in against Orlando Huitzil. Huitzil 3-2 in the season up to that point. De La Nieve with the 1 victory and 3 defeats. And Huitzil set a relentless pace right from the very start of the fight. He was on top of De La Nieve through all 5 rounds. His punch output was absolutely superb. His body punching as well, particularly with the left hand, gradually put a dent in De La Nieve, who in the second round managed to move his feet a bit more efficiently and had greater success when he was boxing on the outside, but really he just got drawn into Huitzil's kind of a fight. The Mexican happy to stay in the pocket, slip punches, block punches to get his own shots away. And he got the job done in some style. Another unanimous decision to level it up at 1 apiece. The welterweights, Echo Esserman, 2-3 for the Lionhearts, was in against Marvin Cabrera. 2 wins and 2 defeats in the campaign so far. Cabrera boxing out of the southpaw stance. Wasn't what you would describe as a typical Mexican fighter. The head clash, though, in the first round opened up a wide cut just below the hairline of Cabrera. And that cut just bled and bled all throughout the 5 rounds. Cabrera, though, didn't seem to let it affect him at all, managing to keep Esserman at bay, who maybe should really have upped the work rate and tried to throw a few more punches. But Cabrera, particularly with that backhand, managed to find the distance he needed. So going into the light heavyweight bout, Rogelio Romero, for the Mexico Guerreros, knew that he just needed to beat John Newell to claim the match for the Guerreros, which will mean they would qualify for the knockout stages. And Romero looked absolutely excellent right from the outset. He caught Newell high on the head with that left hand, which scrambled the Lionheart's man's senses. Another left put him down. He was flat on his back, and he never looked like beating the count. The referee waving the fight over. So it was some way and in some style that the Mexico Guerreros got the job done. Romero certainly looks to be one to watch. There was still a chance, though, that Wally Belora could get a point on the board for the Lionhearts if he could win his bout and make it a 3-2 defeat. Lindolfo Delgado, though, 3-1 in the season, wasn't in any mood to accommodate Belora. And boxing on the outside for the main part, just controlled the fight. He set the pace at his own tempo, made Belora miss, and then picked him off, particularly with left hand. Scored this knockdown. An accumulation, really, of body punches, sending Belora to the canvas. And it was a comprehensive victory for the Mexico Guerrero to give them the match by a score of 4-1. And with Cuba winning against Ukraine, that meant that Mexico qualify in 3rd place.
وهذا في حد ذاته انتصار كبير للملاكمة المغربية.
إنجاز كبير، نعم. كان مبتعد عن صاحب المرتبة الأولى في هذه المجموعة الأولى اللي هو الفريق دومادوريس الكوبي. دومادوريس في الصدارة بسرعة.
هو إنجاز كبير نظرا
نتمناو عدنان عبد الرشيدوف أمامنا يحتل المرتبة الثالثة. المرتبة 12 عفوا.
نتمنى أن حمزة يسجل بعض النقاط، ولا يسجل بعض النقاط بعد 10 ثواني باش يفوز بالجولة ديالو. يقدر حمزة يفوز بالجولة الثالثة، هي تقريبا محتاج يهز القفاز ديالو وحده باش يقاردي.
نفوز 52 كيلوغرام. كيلوغرام ووزن 69 كيلوغرام. عدنان عبد الرشيدوف يفوز في النزال الأول. بابانين هذا لم يقدم اسمه رسميا في اللائحة ديال الأمس. بن عبد الجليل أبو حمادة وصل المرتبة 12 عالميا لحد الآن. تعتبر حمادة
في نفس الوقت كتسجل نقاط.
المقابلة كتهمنا لأنه المصير ديال أحد الملاكمين المغاربة أشرف حربي فهو مرتبط بالنزال اللي غادي يخوضوا مع حمادة
ديالو اللي باين عنده ضربة قوية، ولكن
حقيقة أبو حمادة فهو كيجتهد ولكن غني واحد
ثابتة وما كما تنقولوا ما كاينش ديك الملاكمة العشوائية أو الضرب في
3 ديال الجولات أمام الملاكم المغربي متفوق لحد الآن في الجولات الأربع الماضية.
هذا كيسهل المأمورية للملاكم.
مستر جيمباتر ياسر.
مفاجأة المنافس.
حتى هما دابا
52 كيلوغرام، عنده 22 سنة، متر 66 سنتيمتر، نفس الطول. الجولة الثانية 20 ثانية من هذه الجولة الثانية.
فوالا الإعادة بطيئة كتبين الجمهور الكريم.
فيه للتأهل للألعاب الأولمبية.
ضربة قوية بديو
يستحق الفوز ديالو حتى المرتبة الثالثة عالميا. هذا ليس بالأمر بدوري بالادو بكوبا عام 2004. من الحماس في الحلبة كنشوفوا بافيل الآن عالمية الملاكمة السنة الماضية، ينتمي للفريق العسكري الهولندي. يستغل الامكانيات البدنيه ديالو الملاكم الروسي الفريق.
صعب شويه البيتي باش يقدر يقدم لنا فوز في الامتياز.
وان كان حاول ملاكم مولنبرغ، ملاكم روسيا واضحه، ملاكم روسيا فوز. الحسرة ديال الجمهور المغربي بافيل سيليا
ماكو دير تامير لا
المغربي
يعني سانغوشي كنقولوا بالفرنسيه فوس غارد.
محمد ربيعي انا كانطلاقات وان
شويه كتلقى الملاكم الروسي. للاسف كنا بغينا نشوفوا مباراه.
سابع انتصار لمحمد ربيعي في 7 مباريات. هنيئا اذا لمحمد ربيعي بهذا الاخلاص. زميل محمد وعزيز رئيس الوحده.
En el cuadrilátero de la ciudad deportiva, los campeones de la cuarta serie.
So week 14 of season 5 of the World Series of Boxing saw the Ukraine Ottomans travel all the way to take on the Cuba Domadores in Havana. This was from flyweight to super heavyweight. And the Ukrainian team were very, very competitive. Great crowd as ever. And the first flyweight out was Azad Uzinaliev, who went up against Josbani Vaita. And the number 1 flyweight in the world who's qualified for the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. And, well, I got to say, Vaita was very busy. He was very accurate. He had a great range of punches and a defensive genius to boot. And Uzinaliev, well, despite being an unrated boxer, had won 3 and lost 2, and he gave Vaita all he could handle. But Vaita won the first bout. In the lightweight division, we saw Victor Slavinsky go up against Lazaro Alvarez. Slavinsky ranked number 17. A very competitive fighter, far better than I anticipated, and thoughtful at that. But Lazaro Alvarez, ranked number 2 in the world, undefeated in 6 as the World Series of Boxing boxer, picked up a unanimous decision after a very smart performance. And it was like this throughout. Great win. Number 2 for Cuba. In the welterweight division, we saw Oleg Zubenko, a real tough kid from Ukraine, take on the Olympic gold medalist from 2012 by the name of Roniel Iglesias. And this was a cracking contest as well. The volume of punches was unbelievable, and this bout had it all. But once again, Cuba made it 3-0. In the light heavyweight division, Alexander Kizniak from Ukraine, who'd won 4 and lost 1, went up against Julio Cesar La Cruz in the light heavyweight division. And La Cruz, ranked number 3 in the world, hasn't qualified for Rio de Janeiro, but it was a very competitive and very decent fight. But ultimately, of course, the Cuban ran out a 50-45 winner. But I gotta say, Kizniak never stopped trying. It was a very good performance from La Cruz, and it had to be, because Kizniak came to win. But in the end, the Cuban's arm was raised to make it 4-0 with 1 to play. Well, we saw Ihor Shevardzutsky go up against the super heavyweight from Cuba, Lenia Perot. Now, Perot needed a stoppage or a unanimous victory to go number 1 in the world, but he had to settle for a majority verdict. And, well, it was another tough contest, and Perot played into the hands of this big Ukrainian in the final round when he had a punch-out, but it still went 5-0 to Cuba. So there you are then at the end of a cracking night's boxing. Cuba 5, Ukraine 0.
Italia Thunder went into week 14 knowing that if they were to qualify for the knockout stages, then they would have to do something that nobody else had done all season, namely beat the Astana Arlans of Kazakhstan. If they could, then they would qualify in 3rd position. If they couldn't, then they wouldn't. The equation was that simple. The opening bout at flyweight saw Gaurav Biduri of India, 2-2 in the competition up to that point, faced Mirat Zakopov with 1 fight and 1 win, and it was a very, very close fight all the way through. Biduri, maybe with just the slightly higher work rate, Zakopov never stops coming forward, and in the last couple of rounds just seemed to find a comfortable range. But Biduri always doing anything he could to try and get inside that reach and work on the inside. It went all the way to the judges' scorecards, and it was Biduri who won it by split decision to get the Italian Thunder off to the best possible start. At lightweight, Donato Cosenza was in with Roman Cheshegrinov. Neither of these two fighters have boxed that much in the competition. Cosenza 1-1, Cheshegrinov 1-0, and once again it was a very, very tight affair. Cosenza maybe just engaging at too close quarters in the first couple of rounds with Cheshegrinov, who was a tough, compact kind of a boxer. Cosenza grew into the contest and took it by unanimous decision. So Italian Thunder 2-0 up, as they were the week before against Caciques Venezuela. Adam Nolan competing for them at welterweight against Aslan Van Chimbergenov, knew that a win would be enough to see them qualify for the knockout stages. And true to form, true to the boxing we'd seen all night, again, it was a very difficult one to call. Judges really having to make decisions based on extremely fine margins as to who won the rounds. Nolan landed the heavier shots, but Chimbergenov really, of the two, was the more accurate, the slicker boxer, the better looking fighter, if you like. And during the course of the 5 rounds, that maybe was what caught the judges' eyes. And it was enough to give him the win and to keep the Astana Arlans in the contest at 2-1 down. And what a fight we had at light heavyweight. This just wasn't for qualification for the team competition. Manfredonia and Havoya right up at the top of the light heavyweight rankings. Whoever won this one would go into top place and qualify for Rio 2016. So it really was all on the line. Havoya fought as he always does, mauling in close, incredibly accurate with that left hand. Manfredonia tried to keep him at range, but really it proved to be an almost impossible thing to do. He did show good skills though, the Italian, and once again it was a nip and tuck affair all the way through. It was Manfredonia who got the nod, who got the win, and a double celebration. He will be going to Rio, and Italia Thunder will be going to Russia in the quarterfinals in a couple of weeks' time. The final fight of the night at super heavyweight. Filip Hrgovic 6-0, 5 wins by stoppage, in with Alessio Sparhu, 1 fight and 1 win in the competition to date. And after a decent first round, Hrgovic in the second just pinned him back on the ropes and teed off on Sparhu, got through with 3 really solid backhands in a row. And after the third one landed, the referee stepped in and gave Sparhu a count, and as he came back off the ropes you could see that his legs were not steady, and the referee did exactly the right thing and called the contest off. So the Astana Arlands picked up a point, but it was Italia Thunder who won on the night, and they go through in third position, where they will take on Russia.
Holding'e gür alkışlar rica ederim. Galip geldi. Mikhail Dolganivets, Baku Fes, Azerbaycan. İşlerimiz olmuyor. Aziz tamaşaçılar. Belə ilə devam edirik. jale şirelerine. Nömre 1 makine. 5. mövsüm ülkenin bir nömre taşışı olan makinenin bütün emektaşlarına. Galip
And Joseph Laboy, the Puerto Rico Hurricanes, and Steve Nelson, and awesome! Say knockouts, Cam and Awesome! Martinez Morales! Games, Carlos Valderas Jr. Hector Pastrana. Here's Brian Ceballos. Knockouts, Brian Ceballos. Welcome, Joseph Laboy. Steve Nelson. Games from your USA knockouts, Steve Nelson. 16 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Ecuador. From the planet